You've probably felt it before. That quiet emptiness right after you get what you wanted. The job, the grade, the phone, the person, the thing you swore would finally make you feel content. And for a few hours, maybe even a few days, you do feel it. That light, clean satisfaction that everything is finally okay. But then without you noticing, it fades. And the next thing appears. A new want, a new goal, a new reason to keep running. This is the loop that defines almost every modern life. We chase comfort, pleasure, status, attention, believing that if we just had a little more, we'd finally rest. But the truth is brutal. You were never meant to be satisfied. Humans didn't evolve to be happy. We evolved to survive, and survival means wanting, always reaching for the next thing, never stopping, never content. Our ancestors who were content didn't look for more food, or more safety, or a better place to sleep. They stopped, and they died. But the restless ones, the hungry ones, the dissatisfied ones, they're the ones who made it. And now, thousands of years later, we've inherited that same hunger. But we've run out of things worth hunting. So we hunt symbols instead. Numbers, likes, money, validation. We fill the same void, just with cleaner packaging. And when it doesn't feel like enough, we assume the problem is us. That we're lazy, ungrateful, broken. But maybe it's not us. Maybe it's the system we're stuck in. One that feeds off our restlessness. Because think about it. If you were ever truly satisfied, would you keep scrolling? Would you keep buying? Would you keep consuming? Happiness doesn't sell. Discontent does. Every ad, every post, every headline is engineered to make you feel like you're missing something, that your life is almost there, but not quite. And the only way to close that gap is to want more. That's the algorithm of modern existence. Endless dissatisfaction disguised as freedom. And here's the cruel irony. Even when you get everything, you still lose. Because the more you have, the less it means. The first time you tasted success, it felt electric. Now it's just expected. The first message from someone who liked you made your heart race. Now it's a number you barely notice. Every hit of dopamine dulls the next one. And no matter how high you climb, the view never feels the way you imagine. That's why billionaires keep working. Why influencers keep posting. Why the happiest looking people online always seem one step away from breaking. They're not addicted to things. They're addicted to wanting, to chasing the feeling of almost, but never quite. And the scariest part? Even knowing this doesn't save you. You can be fully aware of the trap and still walk right into it, because wanting feels like living. When you stop wanting, there's silence. And most people would rather live in chaos than sit in silence with themselves. But maybe that's the real test. Not how much you can get, but how little you can need. Maybe happiness isn't something you chase. Maybe it's what's left when you stop running. Think about it. When was the last time you sat in complete peace? No music, no scrolling, no background noise. Just existing. You probably can't remember. Because modern life isn't designed for peace. It's designed for distraction. And every time you fall quiet, the system loses. Every time you choose enough, you stop playing the game. But what does enough even mean? It's not a number. It's not a lifestyle. It's a boundary. Enough means being okay with being ordinary, with being unseen, with being left out. It means letting go of the illusion that your worth depends on your progress. The truth is, you can't outrun the feeling of emptiness by adding more to your life. Because it's not about what's missing outside, it's about what's unresolved inside. The endless hunger doesn't come from a lack of things. It comes from a lack of meaning. And meaning doesn't come from achievement. It comes from connection, from stillness, from choosing what matters instead of collecting what doesn't. Every new app, every new gadget, every trend, it's designed to activate the same ancient reward circuits that once helped our ancestors survive. But unlike food or shelter, these modern rewards are infinite, yet hollow. The brain cannot get full. You can swipe for hours, scroll for days, shop for weeks, and still feel the same emptiness. And while the system keeps you moving, it also teaches a dangerous lesson, that your value is measured by motion, by consumption, by acquisition, that who you are depends on what you have, who notices you, start to understand yourself, and how high you climb. Think about it. That stillness is failure. Imagine sitting in a room with nothing but yourself. No notifications, no goals. But here's the secret: no must people tell you. Just stillness is not breathing. Existing. Silence is not emptiness. And for the first time in years, doing nothing is not wasted time. You notice. In fact, the moment you stopped running wasn't from having to see clearly. It was from being disconnected. The moment you stopped seeking external validation, from never stopping to feel, from letting everything external dictate your inner state. Materialism is just a symptom of this deeper hunger. The objects, the money, the likes, they are placeholders. They give the illusion of satisfaction, but it is always temporary. And because the reward is fleeting, the loop never ends. You chase one, then another, then another. The cycle continues, a loop with no finish line, no pause, no rest. We are taught to chase because society depends on it. Economies grow when you consume. Social media thrives when you compare. Marketing succeeds when you feel lack. Discontent fuels the engine. Happiness slows it down. If you stop needing, the system cannot profit from you. And that's why it pushes, nudges, entices, and keeps you wanting forever. Yet despite the trap, there is a way out. Not by rejecting everything, not by renouncing life, but by redefining value, by choosing what is truly worth the chase, by understanding that desire is natural, but blind desire is dangerous, by recognizing the difference between need and want, between growth and addiction, between purpose and distraction. It begins with awareness, to notice the loop, to see the patterns, to recognize that the craving for more is not a flaw, it's a mechanism. But the key difference is that, unlike our ancestors, we can consciously step out of it. We can choose to stop running, to stop filling, to stop scrolling, to stop chasing. And when you do, something extraordinary happens. You realize that contentment is not a final goal. It's a practice, a daily choice, to be enough, even when the world screams otherwise, to be present, even when society demands motion, to find meaning not in accumulation, but in connection, in experience, in stillness. Imagine the irony, the very hunger that built civilization, that drove humans to innovate, to survive, to conquer, can also trap us. But the same awareness that drives this trap can free us. By choosing what truly matters, by letting go of what doesn't, by accepting imperfection, by sitting with ourselves, we step out of the endless loop. Because the world will never stop offering more. The algorithm will never stop feeding your desires. Ads will never stop whispering that you're missing something. But you can. You can stop. You can say enough. Not for a week, not for a day, but enough for a moment. Enough for yourself. Enough to reclaim your attention, your mind, your life. And maybe that is the truest form of freedom. Not having everything, not wanting everything, but knowing that you have enough. That even in a world built on endless consumption, you can find stillness. You can find meaning. You can find peace. Because when the noise quiets, when the dopamine fades, when the chase stops, what remains is simple, yourself. And in that, you finally have something no one can take from you, something no algorithm can manipulate, something no trend can diminish, something eternal. So the next time you feel the pull, that urge to scroll, to buy, to chase, to compare, remember this: wanting is natural, but needing is optional. Motion is inevitable, but meaning is a choice. And the day you stop needing more is the day you finally have enough. Enough is not a destination, it's a rebellion. Against the system, against the loop, against the lie that your value depends on acquisition. Enough is choosing silence over noise, choosing depth over distraction, choosing yourself over the world's expectations. And maybe, just maybe, when you choose enough, you start to feel alive, truly alive. Not the fleeting thrill of acquisition, not the dopamine rush of novelty, but the deep, quiet pulse of existence, the kind that doesn't need proof, doesn't need validation, doesn't need more. And in that pulse, in that moment, in that choice, you are free.